welcome to the second episode of the Colony After Show on IGN, where we are going to talk about the second episode of Colony. With me is Sarah Wayne Callies, who plays Katie Bowman, resistance fighter extraordinaire, Ryan Condal, co-creator of the show, and Peter Jacobson, who plays Alan.
Collaborator extraordinaire.
Collaborator extraordinaire, yes. So we've now gone through 2 episodes of this season, and I'm curious for you guys, do we think that Katie might be like the true kick-ass hero of the show, or how are we feeling at this point?
I don't. How do you feel?
Well, I think every actor, and we try to write every role so that they're kind of the hero of their own story. And I think from Peter's character to Sarah's character to Josh's character, I think the idea is at the end of the 10 episodes, you feel like you've lived through this kind of one tale through the point of view, and they all have stories that don't overlap with the other characters. So they would be able to tell a tale that the other characters wouldn't know. And I think that's one of the great benefits of serialized long form drama on television.
I'm a collaborator, Katie. What the hell am I doing?
You are protecting our family.
We talked a little bit in the first episode about why Katie hasn't told Will that she is in the resistance. She's trying to protect her family. But, as he's doing these various things as a collaborator, does that at all start to strain their relationship in that she judges the things that he's doing, or do you think that she still understands that he's doing it for their family?
I mean, it's a difficult question, because if he were to stand up and say, all right, I'm absolutely done, that would be it. They'd be packed off and sent to the factory. I think there's probably some residual frustration on Katie's part that he kind of started this whole ball rolling, which is to say he went out on his own to try and find our son without kind of, making that a partnership decision. And because of that, all these things have fallen out. But that's in the past, and you have to let that go. I think if anything, Katie's able to console herself that the collaboration that he's involved in is actually serving the resistance.
Now, Peter, we are introduced to the Mulholland block in this week's episode, and I'm curious, what has Alan been doing wrong in the LA block that Mulholland is amazing? How did we not get all those resources?
You mean the green zone?
Yes.
The green zone.
Apologies.
I love Mulholland block.
Oh, well, they mentioned that they're in Mulholland. I just assumed
I love that.
That's what it's called.
There's a Mulholland block.
Very Chinatown. We're going to get a lot of
There's a
classic
Culver
movie.
City block too, and
It's
the green zone, which we actually see, in the episode before. What's interesting is that it sort of echoes LA, obviously, in real life, that the higher up in the hills you are, there tend to be reasons why you're able to live up there. And certainly after the arrival and the occupation, not only is it easier to block off that area and protect it from the riffraff, meaning the 8 million other people who are down in LA.
The working class of Los Angeles.
Right. It's the place where those who have truly collaborated and sold their souls or done whatever they need to do to stay in good stead, they're all up there eating things that you can't eat elsewhere and living the life of privilege. And again, there are certainly echoes to real, to what it's like regularly and what it's like in the show. No, it's not the coat. Oh, it's not what I'm saying. Oh, it's just the coat.
What you're saying is brilliant.
First of all, I'm sweating through it. You're never going to wear it again because it's so tight. Because I'm,
I'm
so
curious.
did that answer your question? I love being in the green zone. I mean, I've got this great house I never would have had. Being just Alan Snyder. Pre-arrival, I don't think he was living up there.
Yeah, and this might be more of a Ryan question, but are people promoted internally among the collaborators, or are these the hosts that are saying, oh, you've done enough, you deserve to be in the green zone now?
Oh, good question.
I will say, more to come on that. But the idea is that there were certain people that I think were kind of, whispered in their ear, and then there's sort of a hierarchy to it too. So other people, most collaborators are just recruited by other high-ranking collaborators. I will say so, and that's the interesting kind of thematic that's going on up there. Is there's a lot, in this situation, as in many other situations through human history, in these kind of totalitarian empires, in Russia, there were the oil oligarchs and the guys at the top of the government that kind of ran everything and had all the privilege. And look, a lot of those guys weren't necessarily interested in crushing the proletariat under their boot heel. They just wanted to have things for them and their loved ones, and if that was the way to get it, that's how they were going to do it. And that's it might not be the right noble thing to do, but it's a very human thing to do, and that's what we're interested in the show.
I get that somebody didn't want these people to talk, but how the hell did they know we're coming? Because we have a leak.
The first episode really focused on the Bowman family, and it's through their eyes that we come to understand a little bit about this occupation that's happening. In episode 2, we're peeling back the layers, we're meeting some other characters in this world. Talk to me about your and Carlton's decision to tell the story in this way, to really start at a very focused point and then expand the world and explain more of the mystery from there.
We really wanted to simulate for the audience the experience that the average denizen of Los Angeles experienced through the development of this situation. And there are not, we don't have Captain Explainer character on the show that knows all the answers. I mean, certainly Mr. Snyder has a lot of answers, things that he knows that he's withholding strategically, because of course knowledge is power in situations like this. But Will and Katie, I mean, we really know kind of at the end of the pilot as much as they know about the world, not necessarily about the relationship and the decisions that Katie has made, but the audience is really as immersed in the mythology of the show as the average citizen of LA is. So they're learning things, the audience is learning things at the same time the characters are. So it's that sort of starting at the inside and then kind of building out. I mean, we're not being obtuse, we're not intentionally withholding information that we know and other characters know necessarily. It's just the secrets will come, but they're going to have to be earned, and we're just going to have to see people figuring things out and finding things out as they go along, and that's just part of fun, great storytelling. I mean, the answer is much more interesting once you want to know what the answer is, right, versus me telling you at the beginning of the pilot, like, here's the 3-page title crawl to set the stage of what has happened and what's going to happen.
That never works.
Yeah.
Now in this
as has been proven out by Star Wars, man. Wow, that
huge
one sure
failure.
fell on its face.
Now, in this version of Los Angeles, this dystopian future, a year after this alien occupation, things even like oranges that are growing in the Bowman's backyard are very coveted commodities. For you guys, if you were in this world, what would be the one item that you would be like hunting down on the black market, just hoping that you could find that you would be missing so much?
Chocolate. I wish I had a more...
No chocolate tree.
High... I'd be growing cacao beans in my backyard, I think, probably.
Yeah, I mean, booze.
Booze. Pizza.
Coffee? Are you a coffee
No,
guy?
I've never had a cup of coffee my whole life.
Really?
No, never.
Me neither.
Really?
We're the only two people
Really?
Are you
possibly
morning
alive.
people?
Are we what?
Are you morning people?
We both have
Usually people
children.
drink coffee to wake up. Well,
I mean,
you don't have a choice.
I thought you said, are we mourning people? I was like, well, my grandma passed away a long time ago. Oh, I haven't mourned her in a while. I thought there was some strange relationship between lack of coffee, like, you starve yourself if, whatever.
And on that cliffhanger ending, we're gonna find out in episode 3 of the Colony After Show on IGN whether Peter is or is not a morning person.
Right.
MORNING. Stay tuned, keep it here on IGN.
You gotta get out. This is what I do, Katie.